Hello and welcome to another edition of Capper Comparison Picks. I'm Ranj and today I will be giving you the Capper Comparison Picks for some more prelim fights for UFC Vegas 57. This is a pretty good card. I'm really liking it. A lot of hard picks though. A lot of surprise, who knows picks on this card, which makes for a very fun card. I mean, look at these fights, all of them. All of them are big, a lot of question marks, a lot of closely lined fights, okay? And that's why I do this show, so it helps me take a different look at the fights, take a different look at what the cappers have to say about these fights, so then I can come up with my own decision. And so let's be sure to check out the video I did last night for the early prelims on this card. Once again, a lot of fights that could go either way, but I think I did ride with every single favorite. Hey, it happens. That's the way it goes sometimes. But let's see if I do the same here for the rest of these prelim fights. So starting off this show, we have the bantamweight fight between Raulian Paiva taking on Sergei Morizov. Morozov comes in as the favorite at -130. He's got a professional record of 17-5. Taking on Raulian Paiva, 21-4. Slightly better record than Morozov. And he is the underdog at +110. Interesting. Let's first talk about the favorite here in Sergei Morizov. Sergei Morizov fighting out of, it said Urkin Kush, which I love the name Urkin Kush. It sounds like a strain of marijuana. Smoking that Urkin Kush, man. But anyway, Morozov comes in off of a loss to Douglas Silva de Andrade in round 2. I mean, Douglas Silva de Andrade is not a horrible fighter, okay? Before that, he had a unanimous decision win against Khalid Taha. And before that, he lost to Umar Nurmagomedov, who we'll be talking about probably in tomorrow's show. And I think, before that, he was doing the M1 Challenge where he beat Josh Rettenhouse, unanimous decision. So Sergei Morizov, before that, Alexander Osatrov, TKO round 4. I do believe that was an M1 as well. So Morozov, 3-2 in his last 5, but those 2 losses, De Andrade and Nurmagomedov, are not bad losses to have as a up-and-coming prospect coming into the UFC. Morozov is 33 years old, and he's taking on Raulian Paiva, 26-year-old Raulian Paiva, slightly younger. Raulian Paiva also tail the tape winner. He's got 2 inches height and 2.5 inches reach advantage over Sergei Morizov. Excuse me, my voice is starting to go a little bit. Raulian Paiva training out of Alpha Male, so you know he's been working on wrestling because that's what they like to, their base skill set over Alpha Male is the wrestling. They like wrestling over there. And if Paiva needs any help anywhere, it probably would be on the ground, especially going against Sergei Morizov. Okay, Raulian Paiva. Oh, by the way, Alpha Male, I know for a fact Raulian Paiva's been training with Pretty Ricky Tertios. I saw him in a picture on Instagram with him. Raulian Paiva's been training with him and like 4 other guys I didn't really recognize, but I recognized Pretty Ricky in there. And it makes sense because Ricky Tertios will be fighting Ayman Zahabi July 9th. So interesting to see Raulian Paiva training with another fighter that has a fight coming up. So you know they got to be both putting it in, splitting their camp together. You know what I'm saying? He's coming off a loss to Sean O'Malley. Before that, Sean O'Malley took him out bad too. Punches round 1. Ugh. I did not like that, guys. I did not like that. I was hoping Raulian Paiva, because that was the same night that Cody Garbrandt got knocked out by Kai Kara France. And during the media day, I remember Cody Garbrandt he was saying, oh, because they were Sean O'Malley and Cody Garbrandt talking shit to each other. Cody was like, you're going to get beat by my boy Paiva or whatever. Turns out, no, not going to happen against Sugar Sean O'Malley. But anyway, before that, Paiva did beat Kyler Phillips. That's the Matrix. Kyler Phillips used to be my man crush for a little bit anyway. Paiva beat him by majority decision. Before that, his great win against Zalgas Zumagulov, Zako, Double Z, beat him by unanimous decision. Before that, Mark De La Rosa, I think he was the fight that put the Mark De La Rosa out of the UFC, put the nail in the coffin with that KO in round 2 there. And prior to that, his UFC debut, I do believe it was, he lost to Rogerio Bontorin by doctor stoppage in round 1. So he's 1, 2, 3, and 2 in his last 5 as well. The opponents that beat him, Sugar Sean O'Malley and Rogerio Bontorin, not bad compared. And same with Sergey though, not bad. His 2 losses in his last 5. So both of these guys coming off a loss. So man, and Paiva winning the tail of the tape and with a slightly better record. But style's what makes fights, and does he have the style worthy enough to beat Sergei Morizov? Let's see what the cappers have to say. Starting with the favorite. By the way, Morozov did open up at like around -140, so money's been coming in on Paiva, making Sergei Morizov a little bit more attractive at -130. But I didn't check the Tapology, popular pick, whatever deal is at the bottom of the page. But anyway, let's start this. We've got taking Sergei Morizov. We've got MMA Guru, the Beanie Guru. He's saying Morozov will get the finish. He doesn't know if it's going to be a sub or a knockout, but he will get the finish there. The Stat Diggers, both DFS and Wheezy, are on the side of Sergei Morizov. They know stats. James Lynch also taken Sergei Morizov by decision. And then we've got Die Hard MMA Podcast. That's Clint. And his guest this week was a guy named Big Marley 3. Big Marley. And somebody at, one of my subscribers in the chat, I saw he's like, is that the real life Bobby Hill? And it cracked me up because the Big Marley 3, he looks like he totally could be the real life grown up version of Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. Oh, shit had me rolling last night. I was doing research and shit, so I don't really get involved with the chat, but I do check it out. I read it. Sometimes I'll throw in a little bit of I'll throw my name out there just so people see me, and I'll throw in my 2 cents here and there. But when I read that, he's like, is Clint's co-host Bobby Hill in real life? I was like, yes. Elite, as Ben Select would said. Elite, that joke was great. Thank you. And he's, it's like, oh, come on. Once you know who you are, go ahead in the comments, say it was me. Props to you, dude. It's like 4 initials. He's always on my live stream and in my comments. I like, was it something MBTJ? I forget your initials, but go ahead and leave a comment if you want to claim that joke, because that was hilarious. But anyway, both Clint and Big Marley are on the side of Morozov here. And finally, we have AJ DeVito from MMA Experts. And he is saying Morozov is going to get the KO here, making this a full capper consensus. If you guys don't know, well, Nora's in school right now. I got out of work a little bit early. If you guys don't know, a full capper consensus is when all the handicappers are in agreement, picking one side of the whiteboard, and in this case, everybody's taking the favorite in Sergei Morizov. Slight favorite, if you will. Everybody on this show, that is. I do know a couple of cappers not many, but I know like I think one or two cappers that are taking Raulian Paiva so far, and there's still a lot of cappers I haven't watched yet. So who knows? But in this case, all these cappers on this show are siding with Sergei Morizov at -130. That is a good number, good value there, because I think Morozov also will win. I mean, I've heard from other cappers that he does have quit in him. Like if he starts falling behind, he will just give. He's been submitted, I want to say, of his 5 losses, I think, are they all submission? I think 4 of his 5 losses are by way of submission. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think I did hear somebody say that. And that's because if the fight is not going his way, he will just succumb to submission and tap when he doesn't think he's going to be winning on the scorecards or something. I don't know. That's what I heard some cappers say, and it is possible. And Raulian Paiva makes for some quite exciting fighting. He does make all his fights interesting to watch. He's very live as an underdog, but I'm gonna have to go with Sergei Morizov, despite everything. Paper, I don't know about statistics, but height, weight, or height, reach, age, and record all lead Paiva. Anyway, I'm taking Morozov with the capper consensus. That's why I do this, to help solidify my pick. At a slight favorite, -130, good value there, I would say. Good value on that bet. Go ahead, lock it in. I don't lock in all that. I mean, I'm gonna make the bet after the show, but man, I really apologize about my voice going. I don't know what it is. Maybe I should have a cup of tea after this. Moving on. Next, we have the featherweight bout between TJ Downtown Brown taking on the Wolverine, Shayilan Nuerdanbieke. Shayilan Nuerdanbieke. What a mouthful that is. The Wolverine. All right, we got TJ Downtown Brown as the 2-1 favorite. Currently record is 16-8, -205 is his line. Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, 36-10. The record did go increase because I guess from what my understanding is, he did fight under a different name in a lot of these Chinese regional scene fights and custom rule fights and stuff over in China, and they I guess the snoopers, I don't know, the investigators for Sheer Dog, Tapology, UFC, whoever, somebody found these stats, found a whole bunch of records of his past fights under the other name, which I don't know what that is. And that's why if you look, his last fight against Sean Soriano, his record was not this intense. The dude's 28 years old, and he's already got 46 fights. 46 fights. TJ Brown's 32, okay? But I assure you, those fights, you've never heard of anybody that he's fought except for he's coming off a win against Sean Soriano, unanimous decision. His UFC debut was a loss to Josh Cooleybow, unanimous decision. But before that, Zhu Rong. He lost to Zhu Rong in WLF Wars. I'm sure you've heard of, unless you're casual, you've heard Zhu Rong. He's been kind of a disappointment as a hot Chinese prospect, but Zhu Rong did knock him out TKO round 1. But aside from that, all these people, these wins that he has, and JCK Bounty Challenge or something, he's got some weird, like, check out his Tapology. His fights are listed, but they're all just random, who knows, Kazakhstani, Mongolian, and Chinese fighters that aside from Zhu Rong, I didn't recognize not a one of them. I can throw you some names, but why? Okay, I will. He fought another guy. Listen to this. His name in GCK Bounty. His name is Nuerdanbieke. It's almost the same as Nuerdanbieke, but it's just Nuerder. There's no an. It's Nerd, and instead of an, there's an e. Nuerdanbieke. Weird. Nuerdanbieke, and that's his first name. Bahatalian beat him by unanimous decision. See, there's people like names like that. Who else? Like Tanzo Wang. Tanzo Wang. Oh, that guy's awesome. I have no idea. I don't know Tanzo Wang. But he rear naked choked Tanzo Wang in round 1. And I guess if you look some of those custom rule fights, he did fight like twice in one day on some of these. And he very active. I mean, Christ, 28 years old, 36 and 10, 46 fight at that age. You gotta be active. You got mad activity. But it's like you're going into these Chinese villages, taking on the first comers, up and comers. Come on up, let's go. And he's been beat 10 times too. So anyway, couple good things. When he was overseas at the Longyun MMA facility, he trains with Jingliang Li, the Lynch. I know you guys heard him. He trains with him when he's in China. When he's stateside, though, his home is Sanford MMA. And who's he been training with stateside? Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's also on this fight card. So very good move there for Shayilan Nuerdanbieke. I'm sure Shavkat Rakhmonov, being from the same part of the world, I'm sure they can communicate and talk with each other. Why else wouldn't he train with somebody that can speak the same language, right? It's not like Henry Hooft is going in there and showing him how to strike over Sanford, because then, I mean, maybe through a translator, but he's better off sticking with somebody who speaks the same language, if you know what I mean. Let's talk about the favorite and TJ Brown. I don't know why I started with the underdog there, but oh, by the way, you check out his Instagram, Nuerdanbieke. He's got this little 40-second, it's awesome too, 40-second little video of him playing this like 2 or 3 string weird Chinese guitar, and he's singing, and he's got a voice like an angel, the guy. And he's the camera shows him, and he's like in a suit playing his guitar, singing, and pans like the mountains of wherever in China, pans the mountains, and it's winter, there's fresh snow, and he's just singing in his suit with the little guitar. I don't know what the hell he's saying because it's all in Chinese, or is he Kazakhstani or Chinese? It doesn't matter. It's nice. It's so if you know if UFC doesn't pan out, he could always go to singing these country or these Chinese songs, because I looked at the views and all his fighting views, like his pictures with Shavkat Rakhmonov, 5,000 views or some shit like that. The singing thing where he's got the guitar and he's singing has like 16,000 views. Fantastic. Good for you, Shayilan Wolverine Nuerdanbieke. What a mouthful. Anyway, let's talk about TJ Brown. Awesome. TJ Brown. Downtown TJ Brown. Downtown TJ Brown coming off a win against Charles Boston Strong Rosa in unanimous decision. Before that, he had a split decision against Kai Kamaka III. That's a pretty good win to have, I guess. Before that, he lost to Danny Chavez by unanimous decision, and that was disappointing because Danny Chavez just got destroyed last week. Who took him out? Can you read it? Because that tipped my tongue. I just can't. Doesn't matter. Danny Chavez lost in Austin last week, which is not a good look for TJ Brown. Didn't age well, that loss there. And before that, he lost to Jordan Griffin. It was his UFC debut though, and he lost by guillotine in round 2. And before that, I didn't write down which. I think he was maybe. I didn't write down which promotion, but he beat this guy Dylan Lockhart by arm triangle in round 3. TJ Brown will have a slight 1-inch height advantage and a 4.5-inch reach advantage that might come into play. 2.25 inches on each side. That's like that. So that is a little bit of a reach advantage that he can take advantage of. His home gym is called West Side Fight Team. That's right in Arkansas. And who is he training with down there? Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty himself. I saw the pictures on Instagram for sure. That is for sure. And also, when they do leave Westside Fight Team, they travel over to Glory MMA together, where he's getting some instruction from James Krause. Check out his Instagram. He is a BJJ black belt already, and now he's improving his his wrestling with Bryce Mitchell, because Nuerdanbieke training with Shavkat. He's like a Chinese Greco-Roman champ. I guess his the Longyan district in China is like more known for wrestling than it is striking. And some of those areas in China, like the provinces, I think the ones near Mongolia, like geographically, the northern provinces are more like, they have better wrestlers up there. If you go down south to the southern provinces, they're more, because it's closer to Southeast Asia and stuff, they're more like Muay Thai, striking, kickboxing orientated. But if you go north China, it makes sense. Mongolia always like puts wrestlers in the Olympics that perform well. So I think where his region of China, where he comes from, is wrestling based, and he does have credentials, like he does have accolades in wrestling, Greco-Roman style wrestling for the Chinese. Okay, keep that in mind. So I think TJ Brown, in preparation for this, Bryce Mitchell trains with Arkansas State, NCAA, trains with those guys to work his wrestling. Thug Nasty is nasty on the ground, and that's why TJ Brown's been training with him. Fantastic, good move for TJ Brown, training with Bryce Mitchell out of Glory MMA and his home team. Speaking of TJ Brown's home team, boy, I'm going on a rampage. I checked his Instagram out. What a good dude. First, little note, on Father's Day, which was just like last weekend or the week before or something. It was last weekend. Yeah, just this past weekend. He just met his biological father. Melted my heart. The guy looks just like him, except heavier, older, bigger. You know what I'm saying? But you could see the family resemblance between TJ Brown and his dad. And then, interesting enough, TJ Brown, also a very proud father. A couple slides before that one with his, I met my real dad. Before that, he had, I think his dad left him earlier in his childhood, and then now he's back. And because he said something like, forget about the mistakes in the past, let's work on what we have now, which is giving his father a second chance. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. But anyway, a couple slides before that, he's like at my son's ball game, and it shows his kid like playing baseball, sliding into home plate for scoring a run. And awesome, good on TJ Brown. Family man, finding his real father. Everything looks like it's going his way. You already know I'm gonna side with him despite what anybody says. Over Nuerdanbieke, who's only beat Sean Soriano. Aside from that, he's lost to Josh Blibau and beat and lost to a bunch of Chinese guys, which I only know Zhu Rong. Okay, so let's see what the cappers have to say about this one. Starting with the favorite, 2-1 favorite in TJ Brown, we've got MMA experts AJ DeVito on the side of TJ Brown. Then we've got Clint and Big Marley, both diehard MMA podcasts, both on the side of TJ Brown. James Lynch. I think James Lynch has an interview with TJ Brown. Check it out. James Lynch always makes these playlists of all the interviews that he's had of all the fighters on the card. So he'll have a playlist of UFC Vegas 57 interviews, and I think TJ Brown will be on that playlist. Check that out. James Lynch, what awesome content for James Lynch. Then after that, we've got Stat Diggers. DFS by the numbers, as Brady is saying, DFS submission for TJ Brown. Wheezy is also taking him, but he didn't specify on method, but DFS and Wheezy both going TJ Brown. And finally, the guru with the beanie from the United Kingdom is also taking TJ Brown to get this done, making another full capper consensus. I'll do the dance again. Full capper consensus. I'll throw some good luck pearls to you bettors out there. Good luck on your bets for this fight, whichever way you go. I suppose Nuerdanbieke does have it's a fight. He's got that chance, and he's got a voice like an angel, I tell you. With that, check him out on Instagram. Check out his little video with the 3-string guitar. It's awesome. But I'm gonna take my boy downtown TJ Brown to get it done here. Training with Bryce Mitchell and Nuerdanbieke. It's not like he's been doing a full camp with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Maybe. I don't think so, though. I think, because as I mentioned, he was over in China training with Lynch. Came over recently. He's been training with Shavkat down in Sanford. So I'm taking TJ Brown to get it done. And how's man, I think TJ Brown's gonna outstrike him, out-wrestle him. I don't know if he's gonna submit him. He is a BJJ black belt though. So TJ, I'm just gonna say inside the distance, was that ID? Within distance, WD. Within distance, AKA inside the distance, meaning he's gonna finish Nuerdanbieke. Inside the distance. I don't know if it's gonna be sub, TKO, or what, but I think he's gonna finish him. Man, moving on. Let me get a sip of water. Christ, what is wrong with my voice? Moving on, we've got light heavyweight showdown between the Don Tafon and Nchukwi. Taking on Black Jag Carlos Ulberg. Okay, Carlos Ulberg, the favorite here at -117 for the New Zealand fighter. 4-1. 4-1. -117. Kenny Nchukwi was a plus 100, but the line's moved a little bit. Now he's a -103. Oberg opened up at -125, so that line also moved a little bit, meaning some money's been coming in on the Don Tafon Nchukwi. 6-2 is his record. So let's talk about the favorite first, and Carlos Ulberg. Carlos Ulberg is coming off a lackluster win against Water Buffalo Fabio Charant. He won a unanimous decision, but that was like I think the first round he hurt his eye or something. There's like something happened with his eye, and then after that, I'm paraphrasing one of the cappers, but after that Fabio Charant was kind of afraid to. He wasn't as aggressive. He wasn't throwing as much punches. He was playing defense a lot more because he did have like somewhat of a hurt eye. But anyway, Carlos Oberg had an opportunity to finish him in that fight, but could not do it. And you saw holes, and in that win, you saw his cardio fade, which, you saw a lot of holes in his game despite his win over Water Buffalo Fabio Charant. Okay? Before that, he lost to Kennedy Nchukwi. I remember he won the first round, or Kennedy Nchukwi just absorbed everything. I'm like, dude, this Carlos Ulberg is legit. But then round 2, Kennedy Nchukwi just surprised everybody and took him out with hooks. And that was Carlos Ulberg's UFC debut. Got TKO'd round 2 by Kennedy Nchukwi, the African Savage. Before that, he was in the Contender Series where he beat Bruno Oliveira, left hook in round 1. And before that, he had fights over in New Zealand, or Australia, one of those regional scenes called Eternal MMA. I think it might be even Australian, but New Zealand's borders Australia, of course. Different country though, and they don't like to be confused. The Kiwis and the Aussies, they represent where they're from. Before that, he had something New Zealand regional scene, whatever that means. He had a win over Keotapuna. Anyway, Carlos Ulberg does fight out of Shitty Kickboxing. Welcome to Shitty Kickboxing. Israel Adesanya over there. I'm just playing. City Kickboxing in New Zealand, where Israel Adesanya does train out of. Matter of fact, they have, listen to this, they have 3 fighters that have fights in the month of July. Next month, we've got Izzy fighting Jared Cannonier on the UFC 276. That's July 2nd, right around the corner, boys and girls. Brad Rydell also on that card. He's going to be fighting Jalen Turner. And then on July 30th, we have Kai Kara France taking on Brendan Moreno. I'm early pick right now, early insight. I think I'm leaning Brandon Moreno there, but don't blink. Kai Kara France, he might be able to do something, but I think Brandon Moreno's going to use wrestling, and Kai Kara France, that's his weakness is on the ground. Anyway, back to this fight. So Carlos Ulberg does have a lot of potential training partners he could be training with. I don't know who he's training with because Instagram just has pictures of him. Looks like he's modeling, just like posing and posing and posing. He does have a kickboxing background. He is a very handsome dude. I give him that. So why not have pictures of you posing? But it doesn't show anything with him hitting bags with anybody or like rolling around doing jiu-jitsu with anybody or kickboxing. But regardless, he will have a 4-inch height advantage over Tafon and Nchukwi, but they have the same reach. Okay, let's talk about the underdog here. Not the underdog because he's still minus money, but the underdog in this fight, Tafon and Nchukwi. Tafon and Nchukwi, 27 years old, a little bit younger. Oberg's 31. Tafon and Nchukwi is coming off a loss to Azamat Murzakanov, but Azamat Murzakanov is a beast. Isn't he undefeated? He is. He's a Russian killer, this dude. He beat Tafon Nchukwi by a flying knee in round 3. I made money off that fight on a parlay he was in. I remember I was like, yeah, this is, but no, I'm not fading Tafon Nchukwi because of that, because that flying knee was fantastic. Before that, Tafon beat slow Mike Rodriguez by unanimous decision. Before that, he lost to Jun Young Park, majority decision, meaning one of the judges scored it a draw. Prior to that, he had a win over the Night Wolf Jamie Pickett. That was his UFC debut. Came out looking great in that fight. He won by unanimous decision. And before that, to get in the UFC, he beat Al Matavo, head kick, round 2. He is his original country is Cameroon, but he trains with Team Lloyd Irving out of Maryland. But now they are in Vegas. I've checked his Instagram. That dude, I'll tell you what, Tafon Nchukwi, entertaining Instagram. Oh man, he's got one. He's with, I wrote these guys' names down too. A couple of his teammates from Team Lloyd Irving. We got Jancy Jones Silva. Jones is I think, nickname. Jancy Jones Silva. I think he's maybe, he's in a lesser promotion for sure. And then we got Bimisola Atobra. And this kid is amateur. He's an amateur fighter, but this shows Tafon Nchukwi in his Instagram videos. He shows him going to cryotherapy with these dudes, shows him hitting bags with these dudes, rolling around with these dudes, shows him going on 5K runs. sucking weight, and he shows like he's pretty. He likes Instagram. I'll tell you that. He's like layer 1, and he shows, and so he puts on 3 layers of shit to run in the Vegas heat, wearing his Naruto. What's the cartoon? The Japanese cartoon, Naruto. I don't watch it, but Naruto. Got the winter hat with the badge with the Naruto, the waves thing, and he's running and comes back and does the weight. He doesn't show his weight on the scale, but he shows him stepping on it, and he's like getting close. But one of the best entertaining things is he's in the car with that Bimi Sola Atobra with the windows rolled up and the heat on. It looks like he's sucking weight, I think, but he's in there rapping. It's awesome. Him and his boy rapping together. Oh man, I'm going over. But it's thoroughly entertainment. I urge you guys, check out his Instagram. It's fun stuff there. All right, I'm sorry I'm getting off topic. Let me get back to this. Let's see what the cappers have to take in this light heavyweight showdown between the Don, Tafon, and Nchukwi, and Black Jag, Carlos Ulberg. Starting with the favorite in Carlos Oberg, we've got James Lynch. I'm going to write it big because I'm going to tell you what. He's a contrarian picker. James Lynch, spoiler, is saying a knockout for Oberg, round 3. I'll leave room for my name in case I want to go that way. So we have James Lynch, and then over here we've got the rest of them. Stat diggers, both of them, Wheezy and Brady, DFS by the numbers, are going with Tafon. Die Hard, Bobby Hill, Big Marley, and Clint, both going Nchukwi, Tafon Nchukwi. AJ DeVito from MMA Experts is saying by decision for Nchukwi. And finally, the MMA Guru with the beanie from the UK, also taking Nchukwi. And so am I, man. So am I. I'll take the little dog here. Not a plus money dog, but still I will take the underdog in this to get it done over Carlos Oberg. I haven't really been impressed with Carlos Oberg. Even in his victory against Fabio Charant, not impressed there. His loss to Kennedy Nchukwi, I was impressed the first round, but I hated how he gassed out and had nothing going in the second. Kennedy Nchukwi running 5Ks, cryotherapy, showed his diet plan. He's into this. He's doing it, having a good time doing it as well. I think I got Nchukwi winning. And how's he gonna do it? I think he's gonna do it by TKO. TKO over the kickboxer in Oberg. I think Nchukwi also has a little bit of a kickboxing background, and he can play around on the ground. I don't know his belt ranking or anything like that, but I do believe he has been known to take down some. I think he took Mike Slow Rodriguez down a couple times. So anyway, there you have it. To recap, time check. And I'm a little over. To recap, I've got Sergei Morizov taking out Raulian Paiva by decision with the full capper consensus. Not going to go against them on very close odds. I will support that pick. Then I have TJ Brown confidently beating the voice of an angel, Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, the Wolverine. Within distance, I don't know if it's going to be a submission or TKO. When I do Tapology, I'll choose one of them because I am going to pick him to get it done inside the distance. And finally, Kennedy Nchukwi, I will say, will get a TKO. He's going to rock Ulberg, probably round 2 or round 3 later in the fight. He's going to rock him, follow him to the ground, and do a little bit of hammer time ground and pound and get the victory there. I will say maybe, what's the over-under? Over 1.5 is minus 170. under 1.5 is plus 140. I think it will be over 1.5. I think it's going to be more like maybe early round 3. But either way, TKO for Nchukwi there over Carlos Ulberg. So there you have it. Gather the info. Place the bets and cash those tickets. I appreciate you watching. Give me that thumbs up. Go ahead and fill the comments with who you think is going to win these 3 fights. Tomorrow night, I will not be able to do a video because I have to go to North Jersey for work, and I'm not going to stay over. I'm going to come back home, so I'll be in my car when I usually be making my videos. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get another video out tonight if I can, if my voice holds up. And if I can't, I'm going to have to double down on Thursday and do 2 then. All right. So anyway, thanks for watching. Good luck on your bets, and hopefully I'll see you guys later.